episode title is called Now in Color, which is a cool title. So today I'm going to be with my co-host, Will. How you doing?
Hey Andres, I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I would say I'm happy we're at least getting content, so that's good news.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, all right, let's start. Wait. What's your thoughts on episode 3 of WandaVision, Will?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was as strong as the first two, but I felt like it was a like middle point between the beginning of the show and kind of like setting up the big reveal of the mystery later in the show. So it felt like a transition episode more than like its own thing.
I agree. It's yeah, it's not my favorite, but I think the final moments of episode 3 is where I liked it, and
Hmm.
I felt like okay, we're going somewhere from here.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I was so shocked of like of the dark tone that we just immediately shift.
Hmm.
When Wanda started to remember her brother Pedro, and then of course Monica, mentioned how it considered
Hmm.
getting killed by Ultron, and then I mean that moment is literally probably the best performance that Elizabeth Olsen has actually done, and like I seen in her career, and it's like wow. I mean,
Hmm.
it was so scary at that moment, and um, yeah, it was like wow. But yeah, but there are a couple of things about this episode I liked, and um, I mean, let's start off with the kind of the opening of episode 3, the whole like 70s um like show that they
Hmm.
did. What do you think
Yeah.
about
I really liked the theme song this week, and I really liked all of the like clips that they used in it.
that?
Um,
Yes.
uh, I rewatched it this morning to prepare for this, and I was just thinking like they probably spent half the time they spent like filming this episode just on filming the like opening because there's so many different shots that
Yes.
are in like completely unique locations. Um, that they would have to like set up and yeah, but I mean it felt like a genuine sitcom opening, um, and the song was like really catchy and felt like an authentic like 70s theme song, and I don't know, it's I've been really enjoying the music of the show.
Yeah. I uh the the Lopez duo
Hmm.
for Frozen,
Yeah.
and it has been totally knocking these theme songs and musicals so well, and I am just impressed. Yeah, this one was my favorite tune. It just
Yeah.
felt catchy, and that's so good. Yeah, they've been filming a lot of locations, but then you can say that a lot with these sitcoms or like television programs. They always shoot all these various locations, but then they're always usually in previews. But then the single episodes are usually just one single location, or like very just genetic locations like
Yeah.
warehouse and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what show it is. Um, but yeah, yeah, the tune was really great. It, I mean, you're on point about it captures what the '70s shows were in their theme tunes. Yeah, I guess. I mean, right away. I mean, we knew that Wanda was going to be pregnant from the
Hmm.
episode 2, and then this episode, it was like, what do you think about the jokes in this episode? Because there were some I like, and then there were some I was like, not
Yeah.
keen
They,
on.
yeah. Um, they weren't anything like too special, I guess.
Yeah. I guess one I can throw out. I I don't know if I should laugh at this, but I don't know, like her water broke, and
Yeah, and
so,
then all the sprinklers
and
came
that was
on. That was good.
so. Oh my god, I cannot believe they did that, and it was so funny. And um, I don't know, did you have the same reaction? But when Vision, you know, was taking out the doctor, Dr. Nelson,
Hmm.
and he meets who's the neighbor, I'm
Um,
just Herb,
Catherine, Catherine Hahn.
not Captain Han,
What?
not Angus, Herb.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
and I don't know what he was doing. He was doing this like saw thing, and like
Yeah, that. Yeah. I
like
mean, like, my favorite part of the show, like all episodes, have been the moments where the like sitcom facade fades away and there's just like
yes,
completely bizarre stuff happening. So him like trimming the hedges and then going into the wall was just perfect, and how he was just like, "Oh, you're right," and just kept going. Like
I know.
it was just so unsettling
Oh
and
my,
like perfect. Yeah. Um,
yeah, that I think I I'm not particularly interested with this episode, but like for me, I think it's my like it has my favorite moments of this episode, and really getting into my skin right away, and like just setting up the unsettled tone that we're gonna get in this show,
mhm.
and that scene, and then of course towards the end we mentioned, um, it's all like just so handled very well in this show.
Mhm.
And I agree with you. I like those. That's like my favorite part about the show is the unsettled, uh, like weirdness that this show is deploying.
Mhm.
Um, and 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 I think also it's like the performance of the actors are also helping me get through to this episode as well. And I mean, Paul Bettany and Willis Olsen has great community timing, and it's like such firing every singer in each scene, and it's just incredible. And
Mhm.
um, yeah, I guess I. So now let's kind of get into the characters. What do you think about Scarlet Witch here? And you know, right now, you think she's like very denial of this reality, and she like is like totally sucked into this reality of normalism, and like trying to have regular life. What do you think?
Yeah, it's clear that she is like at least like subconsciously aware that
Mm-hmm.
this is fake, because anytime there's anything that like makes her question it, she'll like pretend it didn't happen. She'll like cause it to reverse or rewind,
Yeah,
or she'll um,
or throw someone out of the reality bubble.
yeah.
She did this episode.
Yep.
I
um, yeah, man. Elizabeth Olsen is doing this really good thing where like anytime that happens, where there's like something that pulls her out of the sitcom facade, um, she's going back into the Sokovian accent.
yes, that's
Yeah.
very true.
So like the whole show, she'll be doing this like her like normal like American accent, and she'll be like overacting like she's in a sitcom, and then the second stuff gets weird, she drops all that and she's just playing Wanda again,
Wonder again. Yeah,
um, with
it,
like the accent and like just, yeah, it's she's doing a really good job.
and and this episode really shows that,
Yeah,
especially
the ending, yeah.
yeah, it's I was shocked they mentioned. I was like when immediately when they mentioned her brother,
Hmm.
Pedro, I was like, oh my god, they actually mentioned her brother finally.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised because like I don't know if she had created this like perfect reality, like you would think that her brother would also show up.
Yeah, I, I mean, I mean, I don't know,
Maybe he
like,
will, but
I mean, he will. Well, and then
uh,
there's also rumors about Evan Peters being
right,
in the
yeah, I've
show,
heard
and
that. Yeah,
and I like, and like he also played Quicksilver in the X-Men films, and it's
right.
like
In another universe,
costume,
yeah.
yeah, universe, and I'm like, and why I mentioned that is like we don't know if they're gonna have two Quicksilvers in one show, and it's like it's like yeah, right now I'm happy they mentioned that because it her not mentioning her brother in the films were like was kind of weird,
Mhm.
and um I I find out that there was like a photo of her brother in her room in Captain America Civil War, so
Okay.
that's interesting, and I mean also. I mean, Ultron got mentioned a couple times. Civil War, he was mentioned there, you know, and then of course Infinity War, how Vision was created. They created another, you know or
Yeah.
like the
Mhm.
line that Bruce mentions, like, Tony, how you lose the another robot,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know in the beginning of Infinity War. And so um yeah, I was just totally shocked. I guess I don't know if you have this, but like I think my favorite person in this show right now, in this episode, was uh, Monica Rambeau, the actress,
Hmm.
Taryn Paris is her name, if I'm saying that right. She's great in this episode. We fully got finally got a full episode of her. Her comedic timing is perfect,
Hmm.
and honestly, we're you know we're a little more favorite towards the third and final part of the episode.
Hmm.
She's the reason that makes that whole scene work. The way she say, "Oh, your brother, Pedro, getting killed at Ultron," and it's like right away when Wanda turns like 180 degrees. It's like because of what the way Monica did it. It's just totally perfect,
Hmm.
and getting a clear idea of what's going on. It's also her involvement has helped a little bit of what's going on now, more and a better view for me than the first two episodes. So just take whatever what I just say, Monica Rambeau, all that. um, but what do you think about Monica Rambeau right now, Will?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what she's doing in the sitcom universe,
Yeah,
right? Because they said that she just showed up and she wasn't like a part of it, but she also said in the second episode, which was the first episode that she appeared in,
hmm,
that she didn't know why she was there.
yeah,
Uh, so I'm trying to figure out like, did she go in from the outside to try to save Wanda, or
hmm.
did Wanda pull her in there?
Or if or there's another reason because we have Sword,
Yeah,
and we saw them again here. Obviously they,
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
she
so,
was wearing the sword
uh,
necklace.
yes,
Yeah.
and and obviously I don't know if you've seen like the promos. There was one image of her.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it's like just an image of her and then Agent Wu, and she's like sticking her hand. And obviously, if you know about the show, they're Wanda and Polly couple residents are in this reality bubble, and so Polly, she's probably a agent of SOAR, and like she's brought in with Agent Wu, and then of course Darcy as well. Whenever she's coming into the show, investigating this reality bubble, and then maybe Monica unfortunately gets trapped into it when she sticks her hand in the reality bubble. So we haven't seen that part yet. So it depends on where we're gonna get that, either next episode or maybe the next few episodes afterwards. Maybe I don't know. So so that's my theory, and um, I mean, and then also it was very interesting to see Catherine Hand's character Angus, and her almost like turning, like telling Vision to watch out for Rambone, and
Hmm.
like especially Angus, like kind of knows that she's not part of this reality, and so like right away that's very weird, and like
Hmm.
showing something's up with her, uh with Catherine's character, and just why they're doing that. Like, I don't know. That's for me. That's very interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see more of that.
Yeah. Okay. Um. I guess. Oh. I guess we could get into like references and cool moments we saw. Like, that you saw one that you liked the most. Those references and or the commercial we got in this episode.
Yeah, the commercial was for the Hydra soap.
Oh my God.
Uh, yeah, I'm really curious to see who the two people that are in all of the commercials end up being.
Yeah.
Um,
It's yeah. It's interesting. We had like two Hydra
yeah,
references back and back,
right.
And I mean, the first one was Strucker, which
Hmm.
makes sense. It's connected to Wanda, right? As you
Right.
mentioned. And then in the previous episode, spoiler talk, and then and then this one, we had like just a Hydra reference,
Hmm.
and so I wonder, Will, you think we're gonna get like a Hydra in this season? Like Hydra's maybe behind this, and they're like they probably had Agnes to help them control Wanda. Like you think that could be another villain option?
It's possible
I mean,
because in the radio in the previous episode,
hmm,
they were asking Wanda who is doing this to her.
right,
So it could be like Shield trying, or sorry, Sword trying to figure out who's doing it, but then Hydra could be behind it.
true.
Um,
Um, I mean, we know Hydra's still active. I mean,
yeah.
from Ant-Man, I know that confirmed that Hydra's still out there. Um, yeah, and then and Civil War as well. That some of the members we know
Yeah.
still exist. Um, yeah, yeah. Of course, we have to be careful. I mean, the show is like Legion. Sometimes, these references just are like references. So
Hmm.
I wanted to say that this Hydra thing is just more connection to Wanda and
Yeah.
how she got her powers. Basically.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
All of the commercials seem to be more just like references to her past, like
mm,
references to past trauma. So.
yes, that's true. But then, and I don't know if you noticed that it, this Hydra thing is also mentioned in Agents of Shield, an episode Identity and Change, and it mentions how like this Hydra blue soap that is mentioned by Phil Coulson. I don't know because I know you like that show.
Yeah, I don't remember that
Yeah,
detail.
it's in an episode called Identity and Change. That's where it's mentioned there. So I just want to mention that that's another deep cold. And then what was the other one that was
Yeah.
very interesting? Wanda's pregnancy is like she and Vision with the poles is definitely right out the page of the Vision and Scarlet Witch comic, issue number one. So that was a cool image. And
Hmm.
then let's see, what was the big one I saw? Yeah, and then I don't know. I mean, uh, so okay. I yeah, it was some subtle references they had here. I'm trying to think one. Okay, I think that's it for references. Do you see anything that was particularly interesting, in this episode? Well, um,
Um, I guess I noticed that Vision was being less careful about leaving the house without being in disguise or like hiding his powers.
Mm.
Like there were several shots where he like left the door to their house without changing his face, but he would change it before he like ran into people. But
Yeah,
yeah, or the scene where he went to get the doctor, he was like running at super speed,
yeah,
just in public.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't want to go too far with this, but that's I do believe that that's something that the writers could do in the '70s show. Like, like you remember? I mean, it's weird. Like, I don't want to mention this show, but like Mark and Mindy. I don't know if
yeah,
you've
I
seen them.
remember. Yeah, I've seen Mork and Mindy.
It's more like that. Like, you got
Yeah.
Mark, being alien, and but like he
Hmm.
does weird things around these normal people, and it's
Yeah.
like, and like to just take it casually. So it's more like that. Like I feel like that's like how you can handle a character that is superpower, and I don't know. Like I feel like that was more like staying true what '70s shows could do. And I mean
Yeah.
Wonder Woman did
I
this as well. So
yeah. I don't know. I was taking it more as like um, the facade was like cracking a little bit,
mm, true,
so
true.
that he wasn't being as careful, but it was still like not really affecting anything because they're um,
More in the sitcom realm,
yeah,
and so like instead of questioning, it's like, oh, all right, you're here, so okay, let's start.
yeah,
you know, but yeah, well, and then and there's a couple of like Shakespeare references as well.
yeah.
That
It was all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. It
oh my
was
god,
probably just like meant to parallel the sitcom reality
mm,
where it's like it's not real, it's just a stage, and everyone that's involved is just like they're not real people, or if they
yeah,
are, they're not like these people.
these people, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and
um yeah.
yeah, but there's one that Antis mentions, and it's from like a Macbeth, William
Okay.
Shakespeare play Macbeth,
Yeah.
and she mentions witches, and it's if
Hmm.
we're on track on how Angus is, she's a witch in the comics, and
Okay.
so what a way we got a red herring to
Hmm.
her origins and like who she is in reality, and so I kind of like that how they rope into that into this like meta commentary about
Hmm.
there's people that not like they're not the people they seem to be, as
Hmm.
you're saying, well,
Yeah.
and so that's very cool. And then I guess um I guess let's see, yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I was watching a couple of these shows this week, and I realized the they're following like the TV hour as expected. Um, 30 minutes or uh, I mean 30 minutes or so, right?
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
Um, like, uh, you think it's gonna be like that for the whole series? I'm just curious for your thoughts about that.
Well, I've heard that the first like 6 episodes are going to be these like sitcom style half-hour episodes, each
Mm,
playing off a different decade, and then the last
okay.
3 episodes will be more of a traditional like hour-long like episode of a TV show, and they'll feel more like a normal Marvel movie instead of like a sitcom episode.
Okay. No, I'm fine with that. That's good because
Yeah.
I wasn't worried. I was very interesting, and then that make total sense of what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it seems like the first 6 episodes will be about the like sitcom bubble, and then the last 3 will be like
So,
the climax.
yeah, because the first two were like the 50s, 60s, right? And then
Yeah, and then so this was 70s, and then we'll have 80s, 90s, 2000s for the next 3,
yeah,
and then
and
we'll
then that
move into
mid
uh,
2010s,
well, we'll
right?
move out of the sitcom
Yeah,
like bubble and into uh, reality.
yeah. That's yeah. Okay, that makes more sense now. Um, yeah, because I was very shocked that we like I thought we were gonna because like in the '60s we did have color TV shows, so I was very surprised we went right away with the '70s here. But now it makes sense what they're doing. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and I think that's a good format to do because there's a lot to do with the sitcoms, and so far I've been enjoying it.
Yeah,
So it's just the jokes. It's kind of like hit and miss.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's also true of like shows from that era.
oh,
So
that's true.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know if they were like trying to make it funny or just trying to recreate like the type of humor from that era,
No, no,
just make
they're
it
not.
feel like it could just be an episode from the
No, no.
70s.
Yeah. I mean, when you do an episode that's pregnant, it's kind of like, your least favorite episode, really?
Hmm.
And, I mean, and this episode wasn't trying to be funny. It was just trying to set you up what, like, w- like, like, finally confirming that this is not real and, like, this is something off about
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
And that I appreciate. Um, um, I guess wrapping things up, let's kind of get into like towards the end of the episode. Oh, one other thing that was cool
Hmm.
about the music is the Daydream Believer from the Monkees. That was very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. That's been stuck in my head all weekend.
Oh my God. Yes. I right after that I was like, I need to listen to that music.
Hmm.
That was a great way to do that. And it just perfectly set up the tone of this whole series for me. And it's like it just throw me back what I like about like FX Legion, and they do very cool music selections over there, and this
Hmm.
was just perfect.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess I mean we touched on Monica and the whole Riley bubble, but um, were you shocked that it was actually the town they're in West uh
Westfield.
yeah
Or Westview, sorry. Westfield
yeah
is an actual town in New Jersey. Yeah, Westview. Uh,
I mean, I can believe that be in this cinematic universe. They're in the real world compared to
yeah,
DC.
yeah. I just it's called Westview, and I remember seeing someone say that it was like Wanda's view of the West, since the show is based around her
Oh my
watching
god.
like American sitcoms when she was growing up in Sokovia.
Oh my god.
Um,
That could have been that'd be a cool way to pay off everything about this series. That's a neat that's a neat theory. That's pretty cool. Oh I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I just wanted to like clarify that like Westview is the name, and that's it's a good name for the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised that it was a real place uh, in the MCU and not just like a fake thing. I wonder if yeah, I wonder like how she got there. I wonder if it was like an abandoned town or if she
Mm.
like brought an entire suburban town into her bubble with her. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Well, and the thing and the thing I do want to mention is that could not be true because we see Monica being pushed by Wanda's powers, and we see her covered with the red energy that you usually see with Wanda,
Hmm.
but the bubble is blue.
The
And
the bubble looks like the like LCD panels that make up the end credits. I thought.
yes, that's very true. Yes. And 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 I don't like we can go into theories that either it's Wanda or Agnes because I want
Hmm.
to keep in mind that because we have the children here in this episode and their
Right.
name
Billy and
um
Tommy.
yeah, Billy and Tommy, weird names to give your I don't know. I
No,
mean
it's.
I don't like I mean it's weird they didn't give them the comic book names, but I mean whatever. I mean they're just
I think those are their names in the
oh really
comics.
okay. I correct me
Uh,
well because I
yeah, I'll look it up right now.
yeah
Um,
I'm not familiar with those characters. I know they're the Young Avengers and they're Hulkling and Speed. That's their names. As their
Wiccan and Speed.
thank you for correcting me. Yes.
Yeah, I think Wiccan dates Hulkling,
Oh, really?
I think. But
Okay.
yeah, Wiccan's name is Billy,
Okay.
and yeah, Wiccan dates Hulkling. And I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Tommy. Speed's
Okay.
name is Tommy.
Okay. So their names are from the okay, that's their names
Yeah.
from the comics as well. So that was really cool, and I was shocked that we got the trailer here in this episode, and I mean, if you know, like like because we don't know if Mephisto's here or any of like the supernatural villains are here. Agnes is probably the clear villain in this show, and she's like the only character that in that reality bubble is like self-aware and what's going on, and like she's the one that was provoking Vision to be like be cautious about Marika in this reality, but not to
Yeah,
trust her.
yeah.
Right.
Like maybe she saw it as a threat to whatever she's doing with
Exactly.
Wanda. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and then and with Westwood, that like probably it being empty is probably because of Agnes. She probably affected it and tried to keep her, like any witch can do is keep her age young, and so she kind of created this bubble to stay in, you know, and just probably tricking Wanda to correct these Trulin, maybe to I don't know do something with them, because we don't know what's the end game of the show yet. So right now, I'm just thinking that Agnes is the one pulling the strings here, and that rally bubble is hers that she created to contain
Okay.
Wanda and and you know control her and get her to do this pregnancy.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like it's whoever's doing this wants the children for some reason.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, we referenced the Trin last episode in
Yeah.
episode 2. So,
Yeah, because there's the creepy for the children.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Um, I mean, and anything else we have to say that we missed something or we haven't mentioned up that you want to bring up, Will?
Not that I can think of.
All right. I think that's pretty much it. So folks, we're just wrapping up and stuff. I'm pretty excited for episode 4, getting into the 80s, and
Mhm.
I I just really want to see Wanda and Vision in their like comic book accurate costumes. I think that's the one thing I want to get to
Mhm.
in the show. And oh my god, especially Scarlet Witch. I need that helmet. It's just it
It's a
drives
cool
me.
helmet. Yeah.
Yes, and I mean just like her father. I mean her comic book father, not
Right.
her.
Yeah. Not in the MCU. But
Yeah, Magneto. I just I I just and hopefully towards the end of the series we get like an actual combo, like a new update version of her costume in the real reality.
yeah, it's possible.
It's possible, but yeah, so I'm very excited. Not episode 3, not my favorite, but it gets the ball rolling, and
Mhm.
and it's like it feels like a middle chapter of the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to WandaVision, the Marvel Plus spoiler talk of episode